देह के इस देवालय में आसन अपना लगाओ। प्रभु आओ, प्रभु आओ, प्रभु आओ, प्रभु आओ। प्रभु राम कृष्ण तुम आओ, प्रभु राम कृष्ण तुम आओ। देह के इस देवालय में, देह के इस देवालय में आसन अपना लगाओ। प्रभु आओ, प्रभु आओ, प्रभु आओ, प्रभु आओ।
ओम स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपान्तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। A very good evening to all of you, and really it's like a homecoming for me, and I first of all want to convey my deep gratitude to Swami Gyanadanandji Maharaj for giving me this opportunity to share the Ramakrishna Movement in South America. And not only this, I want to take this opportunity to remember Paramarthanandaji Maharaj, whom we saw as a brahmachari. We joined Swami Anandanandaji Maharaj, who taught us the ABC of spiritual life. So all the sacrifice of all these great souls, today this center, particularly the Hyderabad center, so energetic, so dynamic, with so many activities. today's class, no, Ramakrishna Movement in South America. What is the purpose of this class? It's not just a storytelling or thinking that how the devotees are there. Let us see how it is useful for our spiritual life, no? I feel it's like a bridge which joins the family here with the family in Argentina, the Thakur's family, no, what we call. Different in culture, different in every aspect. And Sri Ramakrishna himself, I remember when Sweetanandaji long back in 2017 had called me to offer this center and this posting, that the then General Secretary of the order, he had told me about Sri Ramakrishna's vision. Sri Ramakrishna had a vision, far off country where people have white skin, and not only they have white skin, their mind is also pure, and he conveys this dream to Holy Mother. We find such people, and such a country is Argentina. Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires means good air, no? Buen aire. How is the culture? How difficult it is to spread the name of Sri Ramakrishna. For them, pronouncing Ramakrishna word itself is difficult. Because the Spanish rule says, when R comes in the beginning of a word, then you have to give R, emphasis. So how comes Ramakrishna? For them, automatically, they pronounce it as Ramakrishna. So first training has to be given, no, it is Ramakrishna. Suave, soft. Whenever the R comes in the beginning, they give. So, this is I have seen in the beginning, no, people starting their day with one kind of drink, Brahma, name Brahma. So I used to think how religious these people are, that you just see they start with a drink which name itself is Brahma. Actually, then I came to know afterwards that it was a beer, a drink from Brazil, no, and that brand. Gita is known as slang. In the slang language, they call money as Gita. And we have Bhagavad Gita, the sacred literature scripture. So this kind of diametrically opposite thoughts. And there we find these devotees so passionate, so emotional, full of Thakur, full of Sri Ramakrishna. The devotees there greet each other telling Jai Thakur. When they receive a phone call, when they cut the phone calls, conversation always Jai Thakur, Jai Ma. It's so, it has been trained. They say Durga, Durga when someone leaves, when we leave the center or when they before the journey. This country is situated, you know, it's the second largest country in South America, and there Swami Vijayanandaji Maharaj was the first monk to go in way back in 1932. 1932 the center started. So 90 years we have covered, and telling this 90 years movement in 45 minutes, I can't do justice. But what I want to say is, 41 years he served that place there in Argentina, first in the city, and then this particular main center was taken up. You can roughly think half of the shape of this area of Hyderabad Mutt, what we have in Beja Vista. Sometimes the other pronunciation will be Beja Vista, double L, neutral pronunciation will be Beja, but we call it Beja Vista. What does it mean? A very good scenery. Beja means very beautiful, and Vista to look at. Really, because the country size is roughly equal to India, but you have 4% of the population of India. What population we have, there is the 4%. And so naturally there is less pollution and everything. A beautiful country in that way. They have other problems that is there. In every place we find problems. Life is full of problems. But how we can overcome these problems, what we can learn, and this exchange of culture. No? Swami Vivekananda had said, in his public address after, in 1897, a very remarkable thought that on the great wonder that was the power of Sri Ramakrishna, how that son of a poor priest, born in an out-of-the-way village, unknown and unthought of, today is worshipped by thousands in Europe and America, and tomorrow will be worshipped by thousands more. This Swamiji said in 1897, and we find, I was searching the records, 1909, the gospel was translated into Spanish. 1909, the Abhedanandaji's English version was translated. Just imagine, 1909, and we have the version 1912 in our library there. So many years back, the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna was translated. And not only that, there is a record, we had received a letter, and that is there in the archives. Amado Nervo, a great Mexican poet and writer from 1870 to 1919, his lifespan, and he writes a letter after reading Evangelio de Sri Ramakrishna. Evangelio means Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. After reading that, he writes, and he was one of the noblest and most famous writers of all times in Spanish literature, wrote a letter to the Vedanta Society, Buenos Aires, after reading Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. What he writes, he was so impressed, and he said it was a real revelation for me. He mentions about Sri Ramakrishna's parables, and he says, particularly he refers to the parable of that wall and the other side where you can see the wall behind where is the absolute. You all know that story, I am not going into the details. And little fanatic about it he becomes. He says, I had read long ago with deep interest the Gospel of Buddha, classified and arranged methodically by Paul Carus. It impressed me a lot. But Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, so profoundly familiar and familiarly profound, from today it will be one of the books at my bedside. Just imagine a Mexican poet, a writer. He says that this book has impressed me so much that this book will be there in my bedside, one of those which I carry with me everywhere. He said in his letter that it is like a small mystic lamp for searching God outside the spider net of philosophies, of rituals, and of metaphysical disputes. We understand that, no, we being Indians, we understand what value Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna has, and it is the essence of all the teachings of Gita and Upanishad and Vedanta. And this person, way back, in the beginning of the 20th century, he writes this letter conveying his gratitude to the then Vedanta Society. It was not taken up. There were a group of people who were interested, and they were carrying out the works. And not only that, we find 1922 itself, the works of Swami Vivekananda, they started translating. Of course, Spanish is spoken in a huge number of countries, and there are variations. There are variations how they speak in Spain, how they speak in Mexico, how they speak in Argentina. So those variations are to be, when we have to circulate them in Argentina, we can't use that particular. Of course, in the beginning they had used it, and now slowly it has been revised. But the main point to be noted here is that in 1922, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga and Jnana Yoga was translated in Spanish. And then we find that in 1930, actually our center is called Hogar Espiritual de Sri Ramakrishna. Hogar, actually it is Hogar, Hogar we will say, but in Spanish H is silent. So Hogar. What does Hogar means? Hogar means home for old people. Now anyway, religious life we think for elderly people. Here we find many youngsters. So that name itself many times impediments, it creates a limitation for the youngsters. Many times we thought that why this name had been put. Anyway, it was long back. So that was Hogar Espiritual de Sri Ramakrishna. The home of Sri Ramakrishna, we can say. And there, 4th May 1931, they write a letter of request. They write a letter of request to Prabuddha Bharata editor in India, asking for a monk from India to carry on the Vedanta movement in Argentina. 4th May 1931. And then also they wrote how emotional, how religious, you see, some original photos of Sri Ramakrishna, Sharadama and Swami Vivekananda. When I was coming here, there's an old lady, 94 years old, 25 years, Senora Dorita, 25 years continuously she has served in the temple putting flowers. She used to come. Now she's old, she can't come. So when I had asked her, Mother, what you need? We call all by names only. What you need? You want anything from India? Then you just imagine, what lady can answer, They might have, because she also has not visited India, but they love India. She told, Swami, you come back. You come back, that is sufficient for us. Because their own people, their sons, their daughters, they search for visa and try to go in America and Europe to have a much comfort in the life. And another lady, another devotee, I asked her, you are going to India, Swamiji? See means yes. Can you bring a little of Ganga water for me, Swamiji? Can you give me a little of Ganga water? They sprinkle Ganges water sometimes when they feel evil vibrations. So that is the devotion. From India, they had sent vaccines to Argentina, some particular Narendra Modi, and Covishield, Covax, and some of them got that. And they were very happy, I have got Indian vaccine. They have not visited, they have not seen Belur Math, they are initiated devotees. But seeing Belur Math, little of some photos, because first of all the now pandemic and the cost of this particular coming, and not only coming, we have all the centers to stay. So my point is telling how they are in love with India. So Swami Vijayananda ji, 1930, 10th December 1932, he comes to Buenos Aires. And Swami Shivananda ji sends him. He was a disciple of Swami Brahmananda ji Maharaj, Raja Maharaj. And he saw once Holy Mother, but more association with Swami Turiyananda ji, Swami Adbhutananda ji. You will find there are videos where he actually never believed in Kashi Vishwanath. And Swami Adbhutananda ji, through his grace, he got revelation and he saw the manifestation of Vishwanath in that stone image. And he started believing. He started believing in Ganga and taking bath in the Ganga. No, he was telling, "Arey Ganga, it's a dirty river," like that. Vijayanandaji, a learned, educated youth in that time. So he at first didn't want to come to Argentina because he didn't want to leave the holy company of Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj. Swami Shivanandaji blessed him, Mahapurush Maharaj, and sends him to, and he says, wherever we are, just remember Sri Ramakrishna is there holding our hands. One Swami I met the other day in Belur Math, it's really, I was telling, no, it's so emotional for us after staying in Argentina, where I am the only monk, my senior who sometimes stays with me, sometimes in the other center. So we don't come to see monks. When I entered Belur Math this time, it was such a wonderful experience for me to see so many monks. So I was telling one Swamiji, you all are so blessed that you are staying with Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, Ganges. Then what he told, yes, we are staying with Thakur, but Thakur is staying with you. The word is, it's a play of words, but it has a deeper meaning, no? Sri Ramakrishna is holding our hands, and in every path there, we are foreigners. The language, the first impediment, and then the culture. So, Swami Vijayanandaji didn't want to come, but Swami Shivanandaji, and we find he brought lots of relics. Way back that time, relics were available. So we have seen Sister Nivedita, Holy Mother, Sri Ramakrishna's relics are there. A lot of positive vibrations you can find, and I have seen. It's not a temple like that. It's a prayer hall, what we have in Beja Vista. But new people, new devotees, they come first time, they see the image of Sri Ramakrishna, they start crying. We don't have Indians. We don't have Indian devotees. We have all Spanish-speaking Latins there visiting our center. So sometimes we think, no, Swami Vijayanandaji himself, at one point of time, he was fed up. He complained to Holy Mother, no devotees are coming, I will go away. I want to go away from here. And then Holy Mother, no, he hears a voice, inner voice. What he hears? He hears, do you bring devotees or I send devotees? And then he stays back, and then I was surprised. I was reading. So I was not ready for this topic, no. I was ready, okay, some Vivek Churamani, some Vedanta. But I never thought of it. And I saw that Swami Vijayanandaji started speaking there. He used to give 5 morning classes, 5 evening classes, radio talks. He was very fluent in Spanish. He así habló Jesucristo, no? Thus spoke Jesus, like that one book, but it's a big book, not the small version. It was more famous than the books written by Catholic priests there. It's still there. We have a Spanish publication center, no? Of course, again, I would emphasize that it's not in this huge way what we have, but we have Spanish books, we have some 40 titles. So, you will not believe, morning 7:30 he used to have a morning class. They used to come, some 60 to 75 devotees used to come. This place is 30 to 40 kilometers away from the city. Nowadays we complain that no, many devotees are not coming. But in those days, in 1940s, 50s, 60s, you imagine 60, 75 devotees coming early morning, 7:30. First they used to meditate with the Swami in the prayer hall, and then they used to listen to his Vedanta talks. That was Holy Mother's blessing he got. Swamiji, and of course something very noteworthy here is Swami Ranganathanandaji visited Argentina. Swami Ranganathanandaji, who was that time, the ambassador, that 1969 government of India sent Swami Ranganathanandaji as its cultural ambassador to many countries. No introduction is necessary for Swami Ranganathanandaji to you all. And he visited South America, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Panama, Peru and Venezuela. The Swami stayed in Argentina for 2 weeks. He gave many television interviews, 4 paper interviews, series of lecture in Salvador University. Of course, there was a translator, they used to translate. Afterwards, in leading newspapers, they conveyed their deep gratitude to Maharaj's visit. And an outstanding scholar of Hindu philosophy, member of the cultural and spiritual movement started by Sri Ramakrishna in 1886, like that. There are some reports. And Swami Ranganathanandaji, way back in 1969, tells about the problem of the South American countries, especially Argentina, which was in a very good state at those times. Now it has fallen, the economic crisis, many of you who are aware, they will come to know about it. Way back then, Swami Ranganathanandaji told the problem and the solution. And he said, the message of Vedanta is the solution for Argentina. When Swami Vijayanandaji didn't want to come to Argentina, he went to Mahendranath Gupta. He visits him and says that, no, I am not ready to go to West. And then M says about a vision that Swami Vivekananda had. They have Andes mountains like we have Himalayas. And there Swamiji had a vision that Vedanta flag in the Andes mountains. And that was the purpose, Swami Shivanandaji tells, Swami M.A. Mahendranath Gupta says to Swami Vijayanandaji and inspires him. See, Swami Vivekananda had this vision, so don't worry, there is a bright future of the Vedanta movement in Latin America. Vijayanandaji did a vast work. 41 years he was there. In 1973, he actually, when we speak about the Vedanta movement in Argentina, in South America, Ramakrishna Movement, then we can't leave Brazil. Brazil is there. It has a different language. They speak Portuguese. They have the main center in Sao Paulo. And they have Rio de Janeiro, Curitiba, Belo Horizonte. Different center. You have 5 monks there also now. But all this was started with the effort of Swami Vijayanandaji. Swami Vijayanandaji used to tour to all these countries of South America, and he had around many devotees. He had initiated disciples in Brazil. Those who are still connected with Argentina, many are living, many have left their bodies. So what I mean to say that till 1999, Argentina, Swami used to take care of Brazil movement also. Even Swami Pareshanandaji, Paratparanandaji, after Swami Vijayanandaji, Paratparanandaji, and then Swami Pareshanandaji, who is the present director, spiritual director, the president. They used to visit Brazil and take care of both the center in Argentina and Brazil. Now we have a separate center, separate monks. So that was also possible with the grace of Swami Vijayanandaji. Vijayanji goes there at the age of 30. He was 32 that time. 32 years of age, and he was the first Hindu monk to step into the Latin American country. A great sacrifice. We know Argentina for football only, no? The football, Messi, Maradona. When someone, before going in 2017, when I was taking the blessings of senior monks, one jokingly told, what you will do? Will you learn football there after going to Argentina. So, and we find that they are strong, very much not fanatic about football. They are not fanatic about only football, they are fanatic about anything they take up. They love a person, they love a person. And if they remove also very quickly. And they are emotional like Indians. Not like Americans or Europeans, that polished, formal. I am sure I have shared the link today, and many of the devotees from there, even if they don't understand, for them English is a problem, they speak Spanish. Some will get to know the words and think, oh, but our Swami is speaking. And they will be logging on and seeing, and they love to see you all, because I have shared many videos of Hyderabad before the pandemic. I remember one video is there where I think in Vanaprastha Ashrama, the 175th anniversary of Sri Ramakrishna, and there were many satsang, and there Gyanananji singing, and people all clapping, singing, dancing, and seeing that they are very happy. Why you all don't dance, Swamiji, here? So that enthusiasm, no, that love for Thakur. Parakparanandaji also started, and then we find now the present director spiritual, the Swami Pareshanandaji, he has his own way, no? He writes small poems. As I told you very in the beginning itself, that to pronounce Ramakrishna for them correctly also is difficult. We have to train them. So big mantras, big songs is difficult for them. Simple Ramakrishna 10 times, if you can repeat, Holy Mother says, you will have, suffering will be there, but you can go beyond it. You will be able to withstand it. So like that Maharaj has trained them, and he has written small poems, no? He calls them Tonadita. For you all, you will feel, what is this? So simple. I will give you one example. Sat Ramakrishna, Chit Ramakrishna, Ananda Ramakrishna, Prabhu Ramakrishna, Guru Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna. This. And you'll just wonder how they sing, and how 20 of them sufficient to rock this hall. Sat Ramakrishna, Chit Ramakrishna, Ananda Ramakrishna, Satchidananda. Prabhu Ramakrishna, Guru Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna. And another one very popular there, Sharada Devi Ma, La Guru Suprema, La Ma Universal, La Gran Salvadora. Sharada Devi Ma, La Guru Suprema, the great Guru, no? Parama Guru we say. La Ma Universal, Universal Mother. The Gran Salvadora, he was the great savior. And these small things, and really, that's a spiritual practice for them. They repeat, he makes them repeat. And because, of course, they try to read Vedanta and everything, but this is also one way of the spiritual practice, what they do. We have a bi-monthly magazine, Charai Veti, what we have started. And then we have a home for the physically challenged Down syndrome, no? There is Centro del Dia who manages this house just beside our ashrama, and we try to support them. That is also one of our activities, social activities what we do. And you all will ask, no, immediately the question comes, how you get the funds? The funds is, we have another 2 buildings in the city which is on rent, and from there we get some rent also. And with that, our minimum necessities and everything is met. And we don't have any worker, no? We don't have any worker. I am the gardener, I am the cook, I am the accountant, I am everything. And again I repeat, we don't have such huge activity. So, but maintaining oneself, no, when I went there, then Swamiji asked me, I asked Swamiji, our in charge, Maharaj, what work shall I do? He didn't give me any work. I was a bit disappointed. He told you stay, that itself is a work. Because I afterwards understood that staying itself is a challenge. Staying in that country itself is a challenge. I would like to end this talk with a, and we have of course some, we have not, I can't call them centers, study groups we call, in Pegwaho, that is around 373 kilometers, another in Mar del Plata, that is also 414 kilometers in the coast, Atlantic coast. A beautiful city. So there we have good number of devotees, and in Uruguay, Rocha also. So all these are connected, and they have, now in this pandemic we have these online programs, and they attend a good number, around 40 average we get, all of course Spanish speaking people. The purpose of this is, there is a purpose. In fact, if we see that most of the American centers, most of the American European centers, they have devotees, they have visitors, but mostly Indians, NRIs who live there, they visit our centers. In fact, that is a boon in disguise for the resident monk, because that helps, in the work. They can bring food. But in another way, if we see, the negative point is, that was not the purpose of opening the centers in America or Europe, The purpose of opening the centers was for the local devotees, so that Thakur's name, Holy Mother, this literature is spread among that part of the globe. That was the purpose of opening these centers. So in a greater extent, the center in Brazil, as well as the centers in Brazil and center in Argentina, is much more fruitful in that way now, in this sense, Any work you give them, I have seen that you have to be with them. It's very difficult, because the way of thinking, you just can't give them and think that the work will be done. It will be done in a different way altogether, and it will be hard for you to imagine that how can they do it like this, How can they do it like this? No, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's the difference in the culture. It's the difference in the culture. I have come here, and the responsibility, my responsibility I have shared amongst the devotees. I can't, there are no other monk to share, I can't tell my Swamiji, who is nearly 77 years old, to do all those works. So I have appointed certain people, and they are devotees. They are doing with lot of devotion. And they send me photos also. So poor man, yesterday he sent me the photo of the temple. He has put the flowers, so nice. And then he has sent me the flower basket also. After selecting the flowers, he has put the flower basket photo also. And to take the photo, he has put the flower basket on the doormat. He has placed it on the doormat to take the photo, because he needs two hands, the doormat which we use to clean our feet before entering, They don't know it. And Guru Maharaj accepts it, Guru Maharaj accepts these, because knowingly they are not doing. For them, it's not, they hear everything is Brahma, and then how can you make a difference here? Anyway, last but not the least, this particular poem, this is another poem in Spanish, and I will tell the meaning and I will conclude. And it gives the gist of the Vedanta, Every day in our life is a struggle. And shall we leave it and think, no, it's difficult, so we will be leaving it, we can't go ahead. We can't leave our responsibilities. No, we have to be in the world, do the things, at the same time be happy. That's the purpose of spiritual life. So this says, I will continue. I will do my best. Ignoring the failures in my way. Failures come, no obstacles come in every moment of our life. But still, I will try my best. And how shall I try? Not with only my self-effort, glorifying all my life, only I will remember God. Sharanagati. Remembering Sri Ramakrishna, remembering our Ishta Devata, chosen ideal, I will carry on. I will sing, praise and carry on. I will continue, I will continue, I will continue. With all my pain, from every mistake, I will always learn. Whatever pains comes, whatever troubles come, I will learn. Understanding the divine, will I surrender. I will sing, praise and carry on. I will continue, I will continue. Before going, I had heard that there are some beautiful songs in Spanish. They sing with guitar, they have a good music sense. Of course, I don't know, but I shall sing the words you can understand. After listening to this, the translation, you can understand. Continuare, yo continuare. I will continue, I will continue. Continuare, yo continuare. Continuaré, yo continuaré, ignorando los fracasos, en mi camino seguiré. Continuaré, yo continuaré, siempre me esforzaré. Glorificando toda mi vida, solo a Dios recordaré. Cantaré, alabaré y continuaré. Continuaré, yo continuaré. Continuaré, yo continuaré. Con todo mi dolor, de todo error, siempre aprenderé. Entendiendo la voluntad divina, yo me entregaré. Cantaré, alabaré y continuaré. Continuaré, yo continuaré. Cantaré, alabaré y continuaré. And normally we end with this particular. Om Ramakrishna Sachidananda. Ramakrishna Om Sachidananda. 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 Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you so much for patient listening.
ખંડના ભવ બંધના ज्योतिर्ज्योतिमुज्ज्वल हृदि पुरंदर ज्योतिर्ज्योतिमुज्ज्वल हृदि कंदर तुमि तम भंजनहार प्रभु तुमि तम भंजनहार धे दे लंग रंग भंग बाजे अंग संग मृदंग धे लंग रंग भंग बाजे अंग संग मृदंग गाय छे चंद भक्त वृंद आरती तुम्हार गाय छे चंद भक्त वृंद आरती तुम्हार जय जय आरती तुम्हार हर हर आरती तुम्हार शिव शिव आरती तुम्हार खांडना भव बंधना जगवंदना वंदितो जय श्री गुरु महाराज जी की जय। ॐ ह्रीं मृतं त्वमचलो गुणजिद्गुणेड्यः नक्तं दिवं सकरुणं तव पादपद्मं मोहं कर्षं बहुकृतं न भजे यतोऽहं तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो भक्तिर्भगश्च भजनं भवभेद कारे गच्छन्त्यलं सुविपुलं गमनाय तत्त्वं वक्रोद्धृतोऽपि हृदये
न च भाति किञ्चित्
तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो तेजस्तरन्ति तरसा त्वयि तृप्ता तृष्णा रागे कृते ऋतपथे त्वयि राम कृष्णे मर्त्यामृतं तव पदं मरणोर्मि नाशं तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो कृत्यं करोति कलुषं कुहकान्त कारे श्नान्तं शिवं सुविमलं तव नाम नाथ यस्मादहं त्वशरणो जगदेक गम्या तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो। ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य
सर्वधर्म
स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। सर्वमङ्गल माङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। सृष्टि स्थितिविनाशानां शक्ति भूते सनातनी गुणाश्रये गुणमये नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। शरणागत दीनार्ता परित्राण परायणे सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। प्रकृतिं परमामभयां वरदां नररूपधरां जनतापहरां शरणागतसेवकतोषकरीं प्रणमामि परां जननीं जगतां गुणहीनसुतान् अपराधयुतान् कृपयाद्य समुद्धर मोहगतान् तरणीं भवसागरपारकरीं प्रणमामि परां जननीं जगतां विषयं कुसुमं परिहृत्य सदा चरणाम्बुरुहामृतशान्तिसुधां पिब भृङ्गमनो भवरोगहरा प्रणमामि परां जननीं जगतां कृपां कुरु महादेवी सुतेषु प्रणतेषु च चरणाश्रयदानेन कृपामयि नमोऽस्तु ते लज्जापटावृते नित्यं शारदे ज्ञानदायिके पापेभ्यो नः सदा रक्ष कृपामयि नमोऽस्तु ते रामकृष्णगतप्राणां तन्नाम श्रवणप्रियां तद्भावरञ्जिताकारां प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः पवित्रं चरितं यस्याः पवित्रं जीवनं तथा पवित्रता स्वरूपिण्यै तस्यै कुर्मो नमो नमः देवीं प्रसन्नां प्रणतार्तिहन्त्रीं योगीन्द्रपूज्यां युगधर्मपात्रीं तां शारदां भक्तिविज्ञानदात्रीं दयास्वरूपां प्रणमामि नित्यं स्नेहेन बध्नासि मानोऽस्मदीयं दोषानशेषान् सगुणीकरोषि आहेतुनानोदयसे सदोषान् स्वाङ्के गृहीत्वा यदिदं विचित्रं प्रसीद मातर्विनयेन याचे नित्यं भव स्नेहवते सुतेषु प्रेमैकबिन्दुं चिरदग्धचित्ते विषिञ्च चित्तं कुरु न सुशान्तम् जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः
Page number 11. Gananatha, 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 Vigna Vinashaka, Gananatha, Vigna Vinashaka, Gananatha, Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Vigna Vinashaka, Gananatha,
Vigna Vinashaka, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Bhakta Paravaradayaka,
Bhakta Paravaradayaka,
Sharanashraya Bhavataraka,
Sharanashraya Bhavataraka,
Siddhi Vinayaka, Chandana Tilaka,
Siddhi Vinayaka, Chandana Tilaka,
Sharanam, Sharanam, Bhakta Rakshaka,
Sharanam, Sharanam, Bhakta
Rakshaka,
Rakshaka,
Gananatha,
Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha, Vigna Vinashaka, Gananatha,
Vigna Vinashaka, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Vigna Vinashaka, Gananatha,
Vigna Vinashaka,
Gananatha,
Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Gananatha, Gananatha,
Bhakta Paravaradayaka,
Bhakta Paravaradayaka,
Dayaka, Sharanashraya Bhavataraka,
Sharanashraya
Bhavataraka, Siddhi Vinayaka, Chandana Tilaka, Siddhi Vinayaka, Chandana Tilaka, Sharanam, Sharanam, Bhakta Rakshaka, Sharanam, Sharanam, Bhakta Rakshaka, Sharanam, Sharanam, Bhakta Rakshaka, Gananatha, Gananatha. नामावली जय जय देवी दयाल हरे
देवी दयाल हरे। जय जय देवी दयाल हरे।
जय जय देवी दयाल हरे।
जननी सरस्वती पालय मां।
जननी सरस्वती
पालय मां। जननी सरस्वती पालय मां।
जननी सरस्वती पालय माम्।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्। अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्। जय जय देवी दयाल हरे।
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 जननी सरस्वती पालय माम्।
जननी सरस्वती पालय माम्।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
अमला कमले सन सहिते।
अमले कमला
सन सहिते। अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अमले कमला सन सहिते।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
अद्भुत चरिते पालय माम्।
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 आनंद सागरा मुरलीधरा। आनंद सागरा मुरलीधरा। आनंद सागरा मुरलीधरा।
आनंद सागरा मुरलीधरा।
मेरा प्रभु
श्याम वेणुगोपाला
मीरा प्रभु राधे श्याम वेणुगोपाला
मीरा प्रभु राधे श्याम वेणुगोपाला
नंद यशोदा नंद किशोरा
नंद यशोदा नंद किशोरा
जय जय गोकुल बाला जय वेणुगोपाला
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 आनंददायक परमहंस
आनंददायक परमहंस
आनंददायक परमहंस
आनंददायक परमहंस
काली प्रिय गदाधर रामकृष्ण
काली प्रिय गदाधर रामकृष्ण
काली प्रिय गदाधर रामकृष्ण
काली प्रिय गदाधर रामकृष्ण
धर्म रक्षक धर्म स्वरूप
धर्म रक्षक धर्म स्वरूप
धर्म रक्षक धर्म स्वरूप
धर्म रक्षक धर्म स्वरूप
शारदा मनोहरा शांतिदायक
शारदा मनोहर शांतिदायक
शारदा मनोहरा शांतिदायक
शारदा मनोहर शांतिदायक
आनंद सागर मुरलीधरा
आनंद सागर मुरलीधरा
आनंद सागर मुरलीधरा
आनंद सागर मुरलीधरा
वीरा प्रभु राधे श्याम वेणुगोपाला
मीरा प्रभु राधे श्याम वेणुगोपाला
मीरा प्रभु राधे श्याम वेणुगोपाला
वीरा राधे श्याम वेणुगोपाला
नंद यशोदा नंद किशोरा
नंद यशोदा नंद किशोरा
नंद यशोदा नंद किशोरा
नंद यशोदा नंद किशोरा
जय जय गोकुल बाला जय वेणुगोपाला
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 आनंददायक परमहंस
आनंददायक परमहंस
आनंददायक परमहंस
आनंददायक परमहंस
काली प्रिया गदाधर रामकृष्ण
काली प्रिय गदाधर रामकृष्ण
काली प्रिया गदाधर रामकृष्ण
काली प्रिय गदाधर रामकृष्ण
धर्म रक्षका धर्म स्वरूपा
धर्म रक्षका धर्म स्वरूपा
धर्म रक्षका धर्म स्वरूपा
धर्म रक्षका धर्म स्वरूपा
शारदा मनोहरा शांतिदायका
शारदा मनोहरा शांतिदायका
शारदा मनोहरा शांतिदायका
शारदा मनोहरा शांतिदायका
नामावली. जगदोद्धारिणी माता दुर्गा, जगदोद्धारिणी माँ. जगदोद्धारिणी माता दुर्गा, जगदोद्धारिणी माँ. जगदोद्धारिणी माता दुर्गा, जगदोद्धारिणी
जगदोद्धारिणी माता दुर्गा, जगदोद्धारिणी माँ.
जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी.
जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी.
जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी.
जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी.
दुर्गा देवी रणचंडी
देवी
हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
हे दुर्गा देवी रणचंडी देवी हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
जागो जगदोद्धारिणी माँ.
जागो जगदोद्धारिणी माँ.
जागो जगदोद्धारिणी माँ.
जागो जगदोद्धारिणी माँ.
जगदोद्धारिणी माता दुर्गा, जगदोद्धारिणी
माँ.
जगदोद्धारिणी माता दुर्गा, जगदोद्धारिणी
माँ.
जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी.
जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ, जागो जागो माँ जननी.
दुर्गा देवी रणचंडी देवी हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
हे दुर्गा देवी रणचंडी देवी हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
शिवरमना जागो माँ.
हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
हे शिवरमना जागो माँ.
जागो जगदोद्धारिणी माँ. जागो जगदोद्धारिणी माँ. जागो जगदोद्धारिणी माँ. जागो जगदोद्धारिणी
माँ.
Page number 63. देवी दुख हारिणी तारिणी महेश्वर दयावासिनी जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ देवी दुख हारिणी तारिणी देवी दुख हारिणी तारिणी महेश्वर दयावासिनी जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ सुरासुर नर सबार पूजिता सुरासुर नर सबार पूजिता आगम निगमे सृजनकारिणी सुरासुर नर सबार पूजिता आगम निगमे सृजनकारिणी ज्ञानदा वरदा सुखदा मोक्षदा ज्ञानदा वरदा सुखदा मोक्षदा तुमी मान्नोदा जय परायणी जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ भैरवी भवानी नगेंद्र नंदिनी भैरवी भवानी
नगेंद्र नंदिनी
नाग पाशा धोरणी नादिनी
भैरवी भवानी
नगेंद्र नंदिनी नाग पाशा धोरणी नादिनी ज्ञानेन्द्र उपेन्द्र जोगेन्द्रादि को तो
ज्ञानेन्द्र उपेन्द्र जोगेन्द्रादि को तो
चरणे पड़िया दिवस रजनी जय जय
जगवंदिनी माँ जय जय
जगवंदिनी माँ गुरु मुखे शुनि तुमी माँ भवानी
गुरु मुखे शुनि
तुमी माँ भवानी आद्या शक्ति शिवे शबार जननी
गुरु मुखे शुनि तुमी माँ भवानी
आद्या शक्ति शिवे शबार जननी माँ माँ बोले डाके माँ तुम्हारे
मामा बोले डाके माँ तुम्हारे
ताई माँ तुम्हारे माँ बोली ये जानी
जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ जय जय जगवंदिनी माँ
देवी दुख हारिणी तारिणी
देवी दुख हारिणी तारिणी
महेश्वर दया Page number 132. खेलति मम हृदये रामा, खेलति मम हृदये रामा, खेलति मम हृदये। मोहमहार्णवतारणकारी, मोहमहार्णवतारककारी, रागद्वेष मुखासुरमारी, मोहमहार्णवतारणकारी, रागद्वेष मुखासुरमारी रामा, खेलति मम हृदये रामा, खेलति मम हृदये। शांति विदेह सुता सहचारी, शांति विदेह सुता सहचारी, दहरायोध्या नगर विहारी, शांति विदेह सुता सहचारी, दहरायोध्या नगर विहारी रामा, खेलति मम हृदये रामा, खेलति मम हृदये। परमहंस साम्राज्योद्धारी, परमहंस साम्राज्योद्धारी, सत्यज्ञानानन्द शरीरी, परमहंस साम्राज्योद्धारी, सत्यज्ञानानन्द शरीरी रामा, खेलति मम हृदये रामा, खेलति मम हृदये रामा, खेलति मम हृदये। Page number 335. समदर्शी है नाम तिहारो, समदर्शी है नाम तिहारो, चाहे तो पार करो प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो, प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो, प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो। समदर्शी है नाम तिहारो, समदर्शी है नाम तिहारो, चाहे तो पार करो, चाहे तो पार करो। प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो, एक लोहा पूजा में राखत, एक रहत व्याधत परो, एक लोहा पूजा में राखत, एक रहत व्याधत परो। पारस के मन द्विधा नहीं है, पारस के मन द्विधा नहीं है, दुहु एक कांचन करो, दुहु एक कांचन करो। प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो, प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो। एक नदिया एक नार कहावत, मैलो नीर भरो। एक नदिया एक नार कहावत, मैलो नीर भरो। जब मिली दोनों एक वर्ण भये, जब मिली दोनों एक वर्ण भये, सुर सरि नाम परो, सुर सरि नाम परो। प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो, प्रभु मेरे अवगुण चित ना धरो। एक जीवा एक ब्रह्म कहावत, सूरदास झगरो। एक जीवा एक ब्रह्म कहावत, सूरदास झगरो। अज्ञान से भेद होवे, अज्ञान से भेद होवे, ज्ञानी काहे भेद करो, ज्ञानी काहे भेद करो। प्रभु मेरे अवगुण
राम कृष्ण भगवान जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान
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 राम कृष्ण भगवान जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान राम कृष्ण भगवान जय जय राम कृष्ण भगवान नामावली हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण
श्याम बोलो हरि श्याम बोलो
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 घन श्याम बोलो राधे श्याम बोलो
श्याम बोलो हरि श्याम बोलो घन श्याम बोलो राधे श्याम बोलो
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो तुम गोपाल बोलो हरि नारायण राम बोलो राजा राम बोलो,
राम बोलो राजा राम बोलो,
राम बोलो राजा राम बोलो,
सीता राम बोलो, आत्मा राम बोलो,
राम बोलो राजा राम बोलो, सीता राम बोलो, आत्मा राम बोलो,
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण,
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण।
दत्त बोलो गुरु दत्त बोलो,
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 श्रीपाद बोलो गुरुदेव बोलो,
दत्त बोलो गुरु दत्त बोलो, श्रीपाद बोलो गुरुदेव बोलो,
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण,
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण।
ईश बोलो जगदीश बोलो,
ईश बोलो जगदीश बोलो,
ईश बोलो जगदीश बोलो,
ईश बोलो जगदीश बोलो,
सर्वेश बोलो परमेश बोलो,
ईश बोलो जगदीश बोलो, सर्वेश बोलो परमेश बोलो,
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण,
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण।
नाथ बोलो जगन्नाथ बोलो,
नाथ बोलो जगन्नाथ बोलो,
नाथ बोलो जगन्नाथ बोलो,
नाथ बोलो जगन्नाथ बोलो,
प्राणनाथ बोलो शारदानाथ बोलो,
नाथ बोलो जगन्नाथ बोलो, प्राणनाथ बोलो, शारदानाथ बोलो,
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण,
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण,
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण,
गोविंद गोपाल हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण।
हरि बोलो तुम गोविंद बोलो, तुम गोपाल बोलो, हरि नारायण। जय भगवान श्री रामकृष्ण देव की जय। जय श्री शारदा माई की जय। जय स्वामी विवेकानंद महाराज जी की जय।